In the news this week, parents are set to get their say on plans to ban smacking, a Church of England school has removed the cross from its badge, and a boy who has locked-in syndrome is now communicating with the world. Hello. Parents will be consulted by the Welsh Assembly over plans to ban smacking. Labour First Minister Carwyn Jones had previously announced that ministers would seek to outlaw the defence of reasonable chastisement. Cabinet Secretary for Communities and Children, Carl Sargent, denied the legislation would criminalise parents as he announced a consultation would be held with interested parties. But the Christian Institute's Simon Calvert said banning smacking would turn loving parents into criminals.
Parents should have freedom to discipline their own children in a reasonable way, and the existing defence of reasonable chastisement allows them that freedom. Despite the minister's protestations, removing the defence will serve to criminalise loving and responsible parents who are just seeking to do what's best for their children. And police and social workers who should be trying to identify and help abused children will instead find themselves pursuing ordinary, loving families.
A Church of England primary school left parents angry after removing the cross from its school badge. The school, near Huddersfield, held a competition to create a new badge following a merger of 3 other schools. A pupil's winning entry featured the Christian cross, which was later used on some school uniforms. However, a different logo was unveiled which replaced the cross. Premier Christian Radio asked the Institute's Kieran Kelly about the situation.
I don't think anybody is going to be shocked and surprised by the idea that the Church of England school is going to have a cross as part of its school badge and its logo. You don't have to have one, of course, but if you're a C of E school, Church of England school, and you want to have one, go ahead. It seems one of those examples of the people in charge getting offended on behalf of people who aren't actually offended, or they're taking preemptive steps in case someone somewhere is offended by the image of cross as part of their school logo.
In a statement, head teacher David Bendel explained the change to the original badge. It was not confirmed as the final logo and was amended to give more prominence to the tree, which not only reflects the school name, but is also an ancient symbol representing many beliefs. In the United States, the Supreme Court has struck down a Texas law because it led to a dramatic reduction in abortion facilities in the state. Judges voted 5-3 to overturn the law, which required abortionists to be endorsed by a nearby hospital and abortion facilities to meet the same health standards as hospitals. In his dissenting opinion, Supreme Court Judge Clarence Thomas criticised some of his fellow judges for bending over backwards to accommodate abortion. The court has simultaneously transformed judicially created rights, like the right to abortion, into preferred constitutional rights, while disfavouring many of the rights actually enumerated in the Constitution. President of the Southern Baptist Theological Seminary, Dr. Albert Mohler, reflected that abortion is now held to be not only a constitutional right, but a constitutional right that may not be infringed upon.
You'll notice that in virtually all of the coverage of yesterday's decision, the issue is singularly the woman. The unborn child does not show up in any way as being, even to any extent, morally important. That's because, in terms of the rise of the abortion rights movement in the United States, it was premised upon that idolatry of personal autonomy in which the woman alone is the important moral figure.
Pro-abortion campaigners claim several other states will be affected by the ruling, but the broader implications are not yet clear. And finally, a boy who has locked-in syndrome can now communicate with his loved ones and the world. Jonathan Bryan, who is 10 years old, was diagnosed with multiple health problems, including cerebral palsy and kidney failure. His parents were told he would not be able to talk or write, but his mother has taught him to communicate using only his eyes. Now he has written poems and even started a blog. BBC Points West told Jonathan's story.
We had ways of communicating with him, but there's nothing like being able to spell everything you want to say. One of the questions a lot of people ask is, what difference does it make for you? And he says, I've been able to tell my family and friends I love them. It just opened up a whole new thing. It's transformed his relationship with people around him because he's able to interact with them.
Jonathan says he wants people not to give up on other children in similar situations. Speaking about the joy of communicating, he said, "Before, I felt like a bird in a cage. Now it is great. I love being able to tell my family and friends that I love them." Well, that's all for this week. For regular updates and information on all our stories, plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.